I'm shooting this video the second time because the first time I shot the video, I shot it in slow motion. And I came to know after I shot 30 minutes worth of content and talked about all the books I want to talk about. Hey you guys, welcome back to Liberal Review. I hope you're doing very nice and I'm sending a lot of hugs and positivity to all of you. Oh my god, it literally feels like I'm welcoming you back again because I'm shooting it back to back. In today's video, I'm going to be recommending 10 women-centric book which is either about women, the protagonist is a woman, the author is a woman, or majorly the woman is playing a very strong role in these books. A very happy Women's Day to all of you. I love you so much and I am so proud of you. All I want to say from whatever I have learned in the past few years as a woman is that before anybody else can put boundaries and limitations on you, please remove them from your own head yourself first. And with all the books that I'm going to recommend today, all these books are basically about removing your self-limiting beliefs from your own head first and then thinking about what the world can do. Because trust me, once you are done removing all the limiting beliefs yourself from your head, it becomes much easier to fight the world if you have to. Let's begin the video. The first book I want to recommend is The Wives by Lauren Weisberger. This is the story of 3 women. It's a story of sisterhood and all these 3 women have their own struggles. However, they have completely forgotten the strength and the courage and who they are, which is why they're going through all these problems. The fun part is when these 3 women are helping each other to get out of their problems and grow and remind each other of who they really are. This is one of the most fun chick flick kind of a book that I've ever read. It is so different from the other books that I read all the time. It is not something extremely deep and philosophical or something, but man, it's powerful and encouraging. The next book is a poetry collection which is Love and Gaslight by Veronica Wild. And now this is the second book that I'm reading by Veronica. I love the art of talking to yourself and I've recommended it before, so I'm not recommending it again here, but this book is so good. Man, I read one page of this book and I'm like, whoa, I'm gonna break walls and like, I don't know, build buildings and go to the moon and I don't know, build a castle on the moon and all those kind of things because of how powerful and empowering the words of this woman are. Oh my god, I love this woman. I love this author so much. I loved the first book, I loved the second book, and trust me, I'm gonna read each and every book by this author because of the sheer power and like this badassness that she has, along with like, you know, a lot of emotions at the back. It was so difficult for me to read the entire collection at once because I would just get so fired up. I would just feel so opened up in my head. There were literally certain things and I was like, oh yeah, wait, it's like somebody was dusting something off from my head as I was reading each page of this book. It is not about other people. Again, it is not about what other people do to you. It is about what you do to yourself and how to get out of it. And this poetry collection, oh my god, I am not saying that you read it at once, but you must have it for yourself. And every single time you feel low, every single time you feel like you can't do something, or every single time you're like not praising yourself, you're feeling bad about yourself, you're like criticizing yourself too much, this is the book you go. It is a very beginner friendly poetry collection. If you have never read poetry before but you're looking for something extremely empowering, then this is your book. Next up, we have another poetry collection. This is too many poetry collections for a person who doesn't like poetry, but recently I've actually started enjoying it. So if you guys have any poetry collection recommendations, please put it down below. The book is Hold Me While I Fix Myself by Fatima Ashraf. Fatima is one of my very dear friends on Bookstagram, which is the bookish community on Instagram. I love her so much and I love her work so much, and I always see through her stories. Like, she's one of those people whose stories I always watch, like always completely read every little thing that she has written because she's so real and she is so vulnerable on her stories. In front of her audience, she has gotten over so many of her own insecurities and problems and everything, and this book is the embarkment, or like, you know, like the stone that shows how much she has grown, because this book again is like literally her stories. It is so vulnerable yet so empowering. It won't tell you to go ahead and break walls. On the other hand, it will tell you to just like sit down and talk to yourself once in a while. It is super emotional, super heartbreaking at some points, and Fatima, I am so proud of you. So if you're looking for emotional poetry collections, then this is your book. Next up, we have a book that has helped me embrace my craziness. It has helped me embrace whoever I am, the annoying human that talks too much, the annoying human that is too upbeat all the time, and she's too upbeat for it to be real, and she has too many facial expressions while saying anything, and she speaks too fast, and she speaks too much, and she speaks too low, and blah, blah, blah. All that shit. I don't care. I like it. I'm gonna do it. I really like it. And all this has come because of this book, which is Yes Please by Amy Poehler, which really helps you to actually embrace the kind of person you are, embrace your craziness, embrace your badassness, and like, get rid of again all the self-limiting beliefs that you have in your own head. Once you can embrace yourself, fuck the world, you're gonna be a queen. Did not talk much about the book, but you see how I become when I talk about the book, so you should know how amazing it is. I'm not saying it's one of those must-haves if it is slightly expensive for you, but if you can buy it, it is one of the most beautiful, colorful books out there. I love it. It is an amazing gift, and it is super duper empowering. Next up, we have I Am by Maggie O'Farrell. Now, this is the near-death experiences of the author, and it is a memoir. It is more of a thrillery kind of a book, because trust me, the writing style is stingy. It literally feels like somebody has taken a needle, come to your heart, and sewing the words on your freaking heart because of how chilling the writing is. It is crazy. However, it really helps you remember how for granted we take life to be and how it is not, because the author, she has recorded the 17 near-death experiences for herself. We don't do that, and you have no idea the number of times you may have actually escaped death. And when you read this book, you get reminded of those times when you may have escaped death, or just like you just get thinking about it. And once you start thinking about that, you stop taking life for granted, and you get up and you do shit you love, and you be who you are, and you live. Man, the energy in this video is so whoa. Anyways, I've not even had coffee. I'm so pumped up, not like without coffee, and for the second time, like I don't get it. Like I love these women. I love these women so much. I love anyways, the next book recommendation is The next book recommendation is The Shoebox Effect by Marcy Keithley. Now, this is the story of Marcy herself. What is the shoebox effect? All of us have this shoebox either in our heads or in our houses, and it doesn't actually have to be like a shoebox, but like a box where we keep all our memories from the past. It can be happy memories, it can be hurtful memories, but we all have those kind of boxes. Now, sometimes when those memories are filled with pain and hurt, we think that if we keep it in a box and we lock it up in our head or in real life, it will never come back to us. But that's not true, because it does come back in a much worse manner, and that is precisely what happened with Marcy. I love this book for two reasons. One, the vulnerability of this book. Oh my god, the pain is real, human pain. It is something for the first time, pain was relatable for me. Like, I've not been through what she has been through, but her pain was relatable. Like, you read fiction books and you see all these emotions and you get really emotional, or you watch movies and you get really emotional and you cry, right? This is the kind of book where you feel the emotions and you feel the pain, and it is literally like actually hurting because you know what it feels like. It is not something fictional. It is very, very real. It has happened to a very real, regular human being. The fact that she has been able to express all of it, all the honesty, the vulnerability, is crazy to me. Secondly, because of how empowering it is at the same time. Marcy was able to get over her pain, and she was able to create such an amazing life, and she is doing so much of good work for the people who have been through the same thing that Marcy has been. And I am so happy and I am so proud of her, even though I am probably like, it doesn't matter to her, but I am so proud of her, and it makes me so proud of every person out there, every woman out there who is facing their struggles quietly. Nobody knows about it, just like Marcy was going through it. and they overcome it and they win their battles alone, and there is nobody to clap for them. I'm clapping for you right now. Okay, if you are going through your silent battles, I'm clapping for you right now, and I have to tell you how proud I am of you. And this is everything that I was able to feel when I was reading this book, and I love it. So next up we have 11 Minutes by Paulo Coelho. Now this is another beautiful fictitious story of a very strong woman. She has not been privileged enough, or she has not been allowed to explore her desires and build the kind of life she wants for herself. And that life is not even like big houses and big buildings or something. It is a very basic, luxurious, nice lifestyle that she wants for herself. She wants to be seen as a person, and she has never been seen like that. And then as soon as she gets the chance, she leaves all these people behind, like since childhood, who have not treated her like a human being, left them for another dream, another desire. The worst part is that you come to know that that desire also is fake, and she has been betrayed again. And then it is her journey to explore different kind of desires and different kind of people in different ways, and then finally discover herself, and also her love story with the one man that does not see her like no one, or like an object or anything. So it is a very beautiful story of self-discovery, self-empowerment, getting rid of your self-limiting beliefs, all those kind of things. But just what Paulo Coelho does to everything, there is a very philosophical, spiritual kind of a twist in the book. Also, I do not recommend it to kids. It's like 15-16 plus. Next up we have The Story of My Life by Helen Keller. Now Helen Keller is one of those women who has impacted me in my childhood. I watched the movie and I was blown. Like, I watched it for an assignment in school. She actually made me realize the kind of strength and the kind of courage and the kind of, you know, what grit I want to have in my life. And since then I've been wanting to be this woman who is super confident and courageous. Why? Because Helen Keller was blind and deaf both at the same time, and she had accepted her fate at a very small age. And if she did not get that one teacher who was like, be a brat, throw all your tantrums, I don't care, I'm gonna be with you, she wouldn't have realized the amount of strength and courage she has within herself. And I love the relationship between them, the fact that they are each other's teacher and student at the same time. I love what Helen Keller does, and I am so empowered by it as a child. And every time I read this book, I get reminded of like my child self who wanted to be super courageous and strong. Next up we have Eat, Pray, Love by Elizabeth Gilbert. Not gonna talk a lot about it because I've recommended it 1,000 times, but why I'm recommending it is because it is the memoir of Elizabeth Gilbert herself and her journey of self-discovery. Last but not the least, one of my most favorite books ever, we have A Thousand Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. This is the story of two women, one Mariam, who has been married to a man who is thrice or twice her age when she's 15, and of Leila, who all she wants to do is love and learn and teach, but she's not able to do that. And this book is set up in Afghanistan in the time where Taliban took over, and you can imagine the adversities that they had to go through. Somehow their life, like, they cross each other and their lives are entwined, and then you see these two amazing courageous women taking care of the people they love and taking care of each other. I really thought that this would be one of those books, because it is by Khaled Hosseini, that I would cry my eyes out for, because that's what happened with The Kite Runner. But no, you do not cry tears of sadness when you read this book. You cry tears of power and encouragement and rush within your body. Take care of the people that you love, to endure and be a strong woman. Alright you guys, this is it for today. I really hope you enjoyed the video. If you like the video, please do share, like, subscribe, bell button, all those amazing things. I'll see you guys soon. Bye.